Welcome to 50 Plus Home and Gardening. Today is a special day. One of my viewers has given me pictures of her home and she just wants me to go through them and give her some suggestions, and I'm going to let you guys come along with me and we're going to put some things in there that will kind of help to give a little bit more curb appeal. Actually, she doesn't need much help. She has 600 acres cattle ranch, but she has about an acre that she does gardening, and she does all the work on her own. She's older like me, and so we want to make it easier and a way to get through our gardens without too much trouble. So let's look at her house. Sandra, who is a person who watches my videos, has let me take her house and do kind of a before and what I would do if I ran the zoo or if I had this home, and what kind of changes would I add or do. And so I'm just going to put some principles down that will just help in this way. So first of all, I want to establish her house colors, which she has green shutters, and white, and then she has a red brick. And so those are her three main colors. So since most things already have green, such as shrubs and grass and everything, I usually don't count green as a color in the garden, so you kind of get a freebie as far as that, because boxwoods are green, and you can fill that up with greens, but not necessary because all your grass is green. Remember, we're going to go primary color, secondary, and third color. That's all we want, is the third color. Primary is going to be, I was going to pick white because she has white fences which look beautiful, and a white house. So white is primary. And then I would use as my secondary, because the secondary color that she has is all the red brick. So then mostly white and then red. And my third color, I want to go with red, white, and blue, because she has a ranch style home. So we got red, white, and blue, but we have white as the primary, red as the secondary, and blue as the third color. So just sort of a pick-me-up. She says she has 600 acres. It's a cattle ranch, but she has about an acre that she does on her own. Amazing. My hat's off to you, Sandra, and you're my type of girl. I love that. This looks like an extensive yard. So as we get older, I like to make it easier. First thing we're going to do is pick color, and the second thing I want to do is everything that's on the grass I want to take off. The reason why is because I have to weed eat around there or mow. I mean, if you don't mind a little bit of grass growing right there, that's fine. The second thing I would do is anything that's in the grass, I would remove it. Unless you want to make either a cement pile, so I'm going to just go like this, so a cement around this so that you can keep that. Now I'd actually add another one of those milk jugs, which I have seen in her other pictures. She has another one. So I love these little trinkets she has, but I would put a cement thing so you don't have to weed eat. My other thing is you could just make a platform right here and patio this. So the whole thing is maybe it angled. Okay, so in this picture, I see something in the grass, and here's what I would do. Cement this into a round of some sort so that you can mow easily. But maybe if you wanted to, you could put a block here or a block here, but the only thing is you'd still have to edge this section. So I would take this whole area and I'd either just put some bricks, and this is only if you wanted to keep that, but I don't normally like things that are in the grass that give me extra work. So I'm trying to get it to where our houses are manageable and things are not in our way. Okay, her fence is here in the front. We've already worked on that area. So now the third thing I would do, this is the third thing I would do, and that is, you see how this always has a straight edge? That is great, and most people have a straight edge. It makes a house look a little stiff. So what I would do to relax it is you give it angles. I would give it curves. So curves. Since she has this little Audi, which is totally adorable, I love this. I can see that the fence goes straight. You see that? So I'm going to draw this. This is her brick line. And it just goes straight. Do you see that? But you can see that it doesn't go up to here. So to give it a little curve appeal, I would go ahead and do this. Down. And then you have a little bit of room here. And then I would also do something like that. a little swerve. And you can see that softens the house. So in these two areas is where you can put your annuals, and they only come once a year. So I would put the blue, like salvia, because they're tall, in the back. And then I would do a red bunch of Surefire begonias. And I would also do the blue over here. So a little bit of blue here. Not as much, but some of her red begonias right here. And then I would do some white begonias in here. And you can see how a little bit of white accents her white in her fencing and her house. So a little bit of white here. And now you have color in the house. And that's how I would do the annuals. Now, you can get Play in the Blue, salvia. You can look at Proven Winners. I love Proven Winners. If you go to provenwinners.com, you can get a salvia that's annual or perennial. Annuals are just something that are showy for a long time in the summer. So I would definitely do these two kinds of red. I can't think of something red that may last in her area that wouldn't get out of hand. But for now, I would go in this right in the front, some annuals, red, white, and blue, and then you've got like a story to come to. Now, if she didn't want to do this much work, I would at least put the curve right here, because she has a straight line of a bed, and then I would just take this little curve to just put some annuals here and annuals right here on the other side. Here's where I was talking about. See how that's straight? And she has this beautiful design that goes like this. Curve. Leave these bricks alone. You probably can't find them. If she has extras, then she can add them, but they're straight, so this may be hard to do. But I would do, like, right at the edge of this, I would do a relaxed, kind of like this. I wanted you guys to see that I'm going straight out to the very edge of this. This is where I would go right back into where she was. So she's already got some boxwoods and some junipers, I believe. Maybe that's an azalea, who knows, because it's winter. Take out the dirt, shovel it, turn it over, and then you put some mulch right immediately on it. Then instant annuals right here. That would give a spark right, this is her front door. Salvia and some more red here. Surefire begonias, or anything that you can think of white. Anyways, a little bit of annuals right here. So right off the bat, you've got a curve, which kind of relaxes the house, and you have annuals right at the door. Here's an example of number 2, which has something on the grass. Now, I love this little curve, and it looks like you come and drive. It may be a roundabout drive. It's hard to say because I don't see the whole picture. But I don't like moving things just to mow. And this looks pretty permanent because it's cement. So what I would do is I would just make a nice curve so that I can mow, easily mow some sort of a curved line, and then you dig all this up and you turn it, and that would so you dig up the soil with a shovel or whatever, and then you turn it over, and that new dirt will make most of the weeds go away. So you have mulch. Now, of course, now you got to put mulch every once in a while, but if you put a thick layer, it should last a couple of years. Or rocks. You could see this gravel area. She could just put some more of this gravel right here. Maybe even a different color gravel, just to make this kind of unique. And then I would do a pot for some design to look at. And maybe a pot here, a smaller pot. And I would fill it with the same. So I've got salvia, which is tall, and the Surefire in a medium, and any white flowers. They don't all have to match either. So, maybe I wouldn't have red, white, and blue in every single one. Maybe just have some white. And you could also do blue, and you could do red here, some begonias, and then you could do white here. You could do it like that, so you could separate the 3. and you would still get the same splash from a distance. You would see it, especially the red. You could also, because this is your secondary color, you could just do the red and make that just a splash of it. So however you want to do that, stick with your red, white, and blue, a few pots. That's how I would do this area. I think the fourth principle would be limbing up. Limb up all trees. I don't like low limbs, and I don't like them in my face. I don't like them when I'm mowing. So I would get rid of that. I'd get rid of him only if you wanted to. And you also, January and February is the only time I would do this. To try not to do it when they're already starting to bloom, because you'll stress it. Anything low, because once these fill in the summer, you hardly get any sky. I mean, this is going to be a shade heaven. Love it. But I want to see something in the horizon. Unless you have an ugly view, keep them low. But she looks like she has a fantastic view. I want to see it, so I want to limb everything up. I want them out of my mowing area, and I want them out of my view. That way I can see what's beyond. I want to see what's beyond. I want to see what's way, way back here. So I'd get rid of all those, limb up the trees. I love this. And of course I see some little, I don't know if this is a pot or anything, but if that can be filled up, I would definitely, since this is the entry, I'd put one of my colors. Surefire begonia would work really well there, is just a accent. And look at, when I come in here, what I'm going to see is this right away. Oh, how beautiful. I mean, her trees are absolutely stunning. But a little bit, if this is a pot and it's not too much hassle to water, I would put a bunch of things in there. And you could go with the red, white, and blue also. Okay, so we're going to work right here. So you can see her road is here. This is the front of her house over this. This is kind of a side, but this is still the front of the house. So let's pick this up a little bit, because there's a lot going on over here, but not much going on over here. So I want to show you a closer picture. By the way, more low trees. I would limb up these trees. Remember, get rid of that low branch, any of these low branches, get rid of him, anything low, so that you're not distracting it from the house and the view of the house. Take all the low branches out. Okay, so that would be the first thing I would do. Other than that, this picture is kind of cute, and I would just leave everything as is. I love her little trinkets. She's got that ranch country style. Very cute. So one of my videos has design principles, design in 4, and it shows colors and how to frame up your landscape. So if you go to designs in 4s, that would be one. And also designing in 3s is another video. This is how I a lot of times would do something, and I'm like, why? There's something that's not right about this. Well, here's the deal. In design principles, the straight line, this is beautiful. She's got a lot of pretty little trinkets. I love all this. Really country ranch style, especially with the wheels. But they're in a straight line. And so it's not as, you don't look at them as appealing as you would is if you could make them in 3s. So things of 3s go together in design, in any design. So here's what I would do. So in this picture, I would definitely, I'm going to use blue, because I would definitely put in this same bed, and I know she has a straight bed, I would definitely curve this bed just a little bit. You got a blank wall, and a blank wall, and you have a lot of things going on the other side of the house. But let's go ahead and see this up. So I would do a juniper right here. Juniper, they don't need a lot of water. So I would do a tall, skinny juniper to cover that wall, if this was me. And so then these trinkets, I would move these in 3s. So I would move this bucket. I'd move this bucket with these guys. So this would be a trio. And actually these are the same size. So I may pick a smaller one. So like, see, this wheel is small. So you would have this tall one, which I would pot up. If you could put a hole in this, unless it's an antique and you don't want to do that, but if you could put a hole in that and put a plant in there, these would be so pretty with a plant. So you'd have that thing. that thing right here. So you've got this one, and then you would have a taller wheel, maybe about this high, and then the milk jug. Now you could do it where this was here, the wheel was here, and the milk jug was here. So put the milk jug in the center because it's the shortest. But in this tub, I would definitely have a bunch of your plants. Something white maybe look pretty, and maybe red. And so here I would leave this, but I would curve. Remember, this is makes the house a little stiff. So having curves makes it a little bit more relaxed. So right here I would put a small crepe myrtle that has red. Now if you're afraid that's too close to the house, maybe you would put it right here. And you wanted to go with, these are crepe myrtle buds, you could go with a begonia. A begonia is a bush style thing. It does have thorns, so if you didn't want to work with that, that's fine. And then right under here I would put a bunch of accent surefire begonias. This is where I'd put a bunch of annuals, and that's only if you wanted to do a lot more business. If you're done doing business, I would keep a begonia that's inside her line that she's already made up if you didn't want to arch this and make more work for yourself. But I would add something tall here, something with your color here, because these are kind of, when I was showing you this, it's really kind of a bluish green, and they're evergreens, because she does have some small junipers on the ground in another spot. But I would put these in threes. So you've got the shovel or the rake, whatever that is, and you've got the wheel, and I would take this pot and put it over here. So you have three things over here. And then the rest of these things I would put in other places. So I'd have a threesome here, and I would keep the two pots under the windows. So it would almost look like you have a window box. So we'll fill this with plants. So you'd still have the red, white, and blue. The junipers have like a blue tone to them, so they would access. You don't necessarily have to have another blue flower, but if you had some pansies, you could put some pansies low. I mean, it just depends on how much work you want to put into it. But this is where I would put annuals down low if you wanted to, but this is extra work. Curve it out with an edging shovel, and then you would cut all this grass out, and then you would you're extending this brick, so you don't have to move the brick. You could just leave this with just a shoveled edge. Now this is a winter picture, which I always love, because then you can see what's there in the winter time, and then the rest is gone, which I really like. You can see that the shade comes all the way to here, which is good. She's on the west side, so I normally don't suggest trees in front of the house, but she did a good job, because if you live where your house is facing the west, which she did say, I would definitely have shade trees. But remember, limb them up so you can see your full house. You don't want to cover up your house. So again, you need this piece right here needs curves. So I can't remember what number that was. Was that number 3, curves? So you see how you have a straight line, and then she has another straight line. So that just makes a stiffer house. So let's just go ahead and relax it just a little bit so that you can easily mow. So you're going to have a line right here, and then we'll just, where all this grass is, you're going to cut that out, shovel it, turn the grass over, down like that, and then you have an instant bed. And you can mulch right on top of that, and that usually the grass does not come back, at least in my experience. She already has some evergreens, pretty. I can see that she sits out in the porch. She's got a swing here, really, really pretty area. Right here, I may add a red crepe myrtle. Limb it up so that you don't have all the stuff down here. So it would go in this area when it got large. And then underneath it, you've got mulch, just like she has mulch right here, mulch right here, but it would give a little shade to these people right here, and also something to look at. And then, of course, down below, if you wanted some perennial salvia, that would be good. And then you could just always add some begonias. Begonias are, you have to get the right kind. Surefires can handle the sun. Make sure they say full sun. There is another kind of begonia that only likes shade, so pick out the right one for your area. So you can see we have a curve and we have a splash of color, and I've added a tree here for shade, and this curve is going to make the relax of the house. And that's all I would do to this. Definitely a little pocket like this with just annuals, because you're going to get a pop of color. Perennials don't do as well for a long time. Mostly annuals give you this show until first frost. To top it all off, I would, if she could, because I know that this may be, because it's on cement, I would put a flag here. And I would put a red, white, and blue flag. Our American flag right there. That would top off the color. So you've got your red begonias down here, remember, because we added this little chunk right here. And if she wanted to make a little curve right here, she could add extra annuals. Remember, we added a curve here. Let me see. Remember, we added a curve right there. But if you didn't want to do that, I would at least curve to where she's coming down and curve this out right there. Curve that out. Sandra, absolutely gorgeous house. So keep moving, keep gardening, and stay creative. And I'll see you next time.